Okay.
Who cares about D6s anymore?
Good afternoon and welcome to a special Halloween edition of the Grays of Westminster live stream. Woo woo!
Whoop, whoop.
Ahoy, mateys. Can you guess who Con is? Put your guesses. That's not the competition for this week. I told you to turn your volume off.
Here it is.
Yeah, cool. Anyway, I'm a pirate, can you tell? Look, let's just appreciate the fullness of Con's costume. All right, the fullness of my costume. We're the only ones dressed up in the shop. No one else got the memo.
Yeah, just people looked weird at us, isn't it?
Yeah, I think I'm going to keep the sword for the whole stream.
Yeah, if anyone wants to ask when his Z9 is going to arrive, we have a weapon to deal with it.
Nobody asked me when it's coming out because I don't know. Sam said, ahoy, shipmates. She knows. She's tracking. Okay, I am actually going to put... This is a very heavy sword.
Sorry, correction. It's not a weapon. It's a solution.
It's a solution. It's a little bit of a cross-genre here because that sword is actually a replica from Lord of the Rings. But anyway.
No Pirates of the Caribbean?
No,
They use the shorter ones. Yeah.
Right, so we have... Look. We have the legend with us.
Yes, already a legend.
Yeah, it is already a legend.
Out for a day.
You know what? It is legendary. This is the biggest release that we've had since we've been here, I think. So
That's
anyway,
true.
I wasn't here for the D3 release. I arrived a few months after. So
you mean you were born 2 months after?
Yeah.
Because you weren't here physically.
No, I wasn't.
In this world.
I wasn't here. I wasn't at Grays for the D3.
I was. That's how old I am.
It was April.
Yes. You see,
right.
I started...
Beat me by a few months.
I started when they just launched D300.
Right.
That should tell you something.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I arrived shortly after, like within a few.
Yeah, it's probably a couple of months.
It was literally a few months. Yes, wielding that sword would require a great deal of strength, so I won't be wielding it anywhere today. But I'm going to try and keep the captain's hat on for as long as my tricorn. I'm quite fond of this. I think I'm going to keep it as a permanent part of my...
Yeah, that's true. Because without a hat, I thought you were going a completely different route.
Yeah, it does complete the outfit. It makes you go one way instead of the other. James, you are on the right stream. Today we are talking about the Z9. The fact that we're in costume is just because it's Halloween on Sunday and we decided to have a bit of fun.
Yeah, with the whole Z9 release, everyone forgot about the Halloween, isn't it?
Yes. Yeah, but we didn't. We filmed something, which I'm in the process of editing, and it will be out on Sunday. Fun little video for you.
Well, literally, we watched the live stream, the Nikon Z9 launch live stream, and then literally we jumped into the cars and we went straight to the pumpkin fields.
That's right. Yeah, so look out for that on Sunday. Now, I have to say a massive thank you, first of all, to Tom Hooley for our beautiful mugs. Thank you, Tom. Mine's got a good cup of Red Bush or Rooibos tea in it at the moment. Thank you very much to Jeremy and to Vince for your contributions to the coffee fund. Super, super appreciated. We have really had our work cut out the last couple of days. The staff at Grays all deserve medals, to be honest. Everyone on the sales floor has been absolutely incredible. I have no idea if this, so Roger says it's a gear. I think he said a GWAC. I thought it was a gear acquisition syndrome, but I don't actually know what GWAC stands for.
Okay, I'll give them a hint. It's the first YouTuber. Let me get my bum back here. He was here before the YouTube even existed.
Yes.
So I think they used to call them bloggers, I think. Yeah, remember the bloggers back
Old
in the
school.
day. So he was one of the first YouTubers back in the day, and the growing family of whom we supported for a long, long time.
Yes. Yeah.
So that's the hint. Try to figure this one out.
All right.
And it's not a Tom Hogan.
It's not Tom Hogan. Thank you to Ian and to Jean for your contributions to the coffee fund as well. And we're going to avoid any angry reviews. Otherwise, I'll get my sword out. And any angry comments. You are welcome to send us questions. We will try and answer them as best possible. Any questions that we cannot answer.
Yes.
We actually have a guy with a camera, Roger said, thank you. Any questions that we can't answer, we actually have a special guest from Nikon coming in a couple of weeks' time. So we will be answering any questions that we couldn't answer today on that live stream.
But yeah, whatever we can figure out now with this camera. So this is a pre-production model, isn't it? So,
yeah. So we've been very kindly, and thank you massively to Nikon for this. We've actually been very kindly loaned this body for a very tiny window of time. So we're like, okay, let's put it on the stream. Let's see what we can get. We're going to try. If it doesn't rain, we'll try and go and shoot some content with it this afternoon after the stream.
That's right. It says sample not for sale, so we can't sell it to you.
No, exactly. That also means that obviously the images that come out of this camera are not the final images. They are pre-production images. But we're going to show you what it does. I've managed to hook it up to the computer so you can have a look at the back. We'll go through the menus as well. Photog Opinion says, shouldn't you change it to the rum fund, me hearties? Yes, we should have a rum fund. You should have just dressed up as a pirate.
Where's your hook as a hand thing?
You should have had the hook.
Because I would want you to just tap on the keyboard with that hook.
That would have been great. Okay, so just to give you the price in the UK for the people who are asking, it is 5,299 in Great British pounds. I actually don't know how much it is in dollars.
Well, keep in mind that in the United States, I think Randall made this question in the comments under the video. He said, well, it's like 5,299 is almost like $7,300. But keep in mind, in the UK, we have 20% VAT.
Yes.
In the United States, your VAT is added on top of the price. So you obviously, whatever the price in the United States is, then you get whatever your state adds, whatever tax you have in your states. I think in New York is like 7-8%, and some of them are tax free, etc. But then you get this on top added. We have this tax included in the price, so which a lot of photographers who are professionals, and if they're registered for VAT, they can take this money back at the end of the year. Yeah,
exactly. So just bear the VAT factor in mind. Yes, Captain Becky Sparrow, Uwe, that's what I am. So there's a few people asking some interesting questions. The first one that I can answer immediately is, does the Z9 have a 10-pin connector on it? I can confirm that it does have a 10-pin connector, and it also has its own PC sync terminal there.
That's right.
So like any flagship body that you would expect. Nick Can says in Germany it's priced at 5,999 euros, while in Ireland it's priced at 6,399 euros.
Do they have different VAT though? Because I know in some countries they have 20% VAT, in some countries they have 23% VAT. So is that to do with this? We're not 100% sure.
Don't know, actually. There's a couple of questions coming in about RAW and what the new Nikon RAW format is and stuff. We haven't actually had a chance to test that yet.
No, this we need to unfortunately see, and I guess we need to have some sort of software to open it with. So I guess we need to wait for update from Nikon. I think they'll come out first with that. So whatever the NX Studio will have. So, but yeah, we need to wait and see. One question we had about low pass filter. Das camera has a low pass filter. Becky had email from Arthur at NPS Nikon stating that there's no low pass filter on Nikon Z9.
Absolutely.
And then whatever the coatings they mentioned, the two coatings, it's actually on the sensor.
Yeah.
So one was fluoride coating and another one was to repel the dust.
There we go.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyone who wanted to know about the optical low pass filter, or OLPF as it's sometimes abbreviated, that is your answer. Okay, so Kevin asks what a BSI sensor is. That essentially means that normally what happens is you have kind of the top layer, you have the circuitry, and then you have the technical term I'm going to use incorrectly. I think it's photodiodes, but that's probably the wrong word for it. But the bit that absorbs the light is underneath. So what backside illuminated means is that they put the circuitry underneath the light absorbing part so that you don't end up having, so you absorb more light. The sensor absorbs more light. That's like super simple layman's terms, not an engineering degree over here. So that's what, from my read and study, because I have had that question quite a lot, that's what I understand. David said Rishi answers most of these questions on his YouTube channel. Do check out Rishi's videos. I mean, he's had a prototype for a lot longer than, obviously we've only had this for a couple of hours, and we've been working the whole morning.
That's right, because I was always wondering why the teaser comes out for Nikon Z9 and 15 minutes later there's a whole breakdown in 4K full resolution.
Yeah. Yeah,
that's why.
That's why. So just to show you the back of this camera, so AF on is at the back here. It is where you would normally expect it, where your thumb button is.
Yeah, so it's compared to D6 that we have side by side, it's literally in the same place.
Yeah, exactly, in exactly the same place. Now, in terms of changing your... Oh, it's so interesting. It's picking up your face perfectly here. So in terms of changing your focusing mode... I would assume, no, they haven't set it to that button, which is interesting. Someone was asking where you change your focusing mode. So I guess instead, learn with Becky. I thought they'd set it to a function button. The function button is actually set to turning all the info display off, which is interesting. So I pressed it once. I'm actually going to show you because I can do that. Wait for it.
We've got the technology.
Yeah, so try not to get
hello.
there you are. So if I push that function button, there's all the info. Look at how quickly it's picking up your face and eyes. I'm sorry, I'm very close for a 24-70. Let me refocus. There we go. And then if I press that function button again, I get a clean image display. Which
that's really cool.
I like that very much, in fact. And then, as I say, so that's the middle function button. That's choosing your image area, and then that top one is changing your shooting bank. So you're just playing with the eye detection there.
And it's got ear detection as well, I think.
What I quite like, you can see. Look, it's like Inception. But what I like is the fact that it finds you very quickly.
Yeah, and then you can see you got once it goes to my eyes. So
I'm not actually pressing it. So it's gone on face there. Interesting. Right. Sorry, I don't want to give everyone motion sickness for doing that too much because it's quite hard to watch someone moving a camera around. So those are the function 1, 2, and 3. Those are positioned right where your fingers go. As I say, I was using AF on there to autofocus. And then in terms of changing your AF modes, I assume that you can assign that to any function, but we've got it in the eye menu, which is just on the back of the camera there. Now, someone asked a question that I've completely lost. I think Rishi said that the autofocus button is the one at the front left that everyone thought was a toggle button. Yeah. So on DSLRs, yeah, you're right. And I saw this in the release and I forgot that it was there.
Yeah, it's basically, remember, we had the switch SCNM.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's literally
in the same place. So it's down the front there.
I thought you were talking about this, but then you were so
why
convinced.
didn't you say it?
Well, you were so convinced. I thought, okay, I'll just keep quiet.
Excellent. All right. Thank you very much to George for your contribution to the Coffee Fund. And I missed some. Thank you to Terry. Thank you very much. Happy Halloween. And to Peter. I missed you earlier on. Thank you very, very much for your contribution to the Coffee Fund. Okay. So cameras, clocks, and watches says, how's the feeling in terms of weight, quality, finish? I mean, in terms of weight, we've plopped a 24-70 2.8S on there. That's pretty well balanced. It's not a light camera, but at the same time, it's not as heavy as the D6.
Yeah, here's the same setup with 24-70 2.8 on D6.
Yeah. So then you can see the size comparison. And to be honest, that's the D6 is the closest thing to this camera, even though this is kind of almost like a hybrid between the D6 and the Z7, I would say, because of the resolution mixed with the speed and the fact that it is faster and has better frames per second and autofocus. Kevin, you sent me an email earlier asking about the Z9 and whether or not there would be any kind of improvement to autofocus on later models. I would assume so, and that's a question that we've been getting quite a lot. Yes, we are expecting a kind of trickle down of features, aren't we?
Exactly. Obviously, this unannounced firmware that's supposed to be in development for Z6 II and Z7 Mark II cameras, they haven't mentioned this. So it's probably still in production. Hopefully it will come out, but there's no actually official indication from Nikon that it's coming. We definitely, in terms of new hardware developments, this technology will trickle down to new models. But I guess whatever they can squeeze out of the firmware on the camera and out of the process of Z6 and Z7, then we'll get there. But it's not going to be on the same level, that's for sure.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, this is obviously, it has its target audience.
Yeah, it's on another level. It's just there's nothing close to it in that lineup. It's for me, it's a game changer. It's the first camera that I can see that should be worthy of, let's say, D850 and D6 replacement, in my opinion.
Yeah, like two cameras in once. Rishi does say that the firmware updates will allow you to do that customizable AF area modes, where you can select where the points go.
Yeah.
I'm quite looking forward to seeing that because that's going to be an additional, very useful feature. The D6 has that. Thank you, Jeff, for reminding me about that because that's very helpful. Eric asks if shipping to BFPO addresses, can one purchase minus VAT? At the moment, yes, that's still the case. So you can for those that are not from the UK, that's British Forces Post Office address. So we have special addresses for our British forces, and they can purchase ex-VAT because they're usually not located in England. So it's one of the perks of the job. Now, yeah, Jackie says, just joined. I still wouldn't have coffee anywhere near your pre-production Z9. It's empty.
Cheers for that.
Mine's tea, but it's on the other side of the desk. So, and I don't have a track record of spilling. I don't.
I've actually spilled coffee just, like 5 seconds before
Off
we
camera,
launched.
yeah, a while ago. Okay, so a lot of people asking about the 20 frames per second. We've got the shutter sound on, don't we?
Yeah, put it on.
Okay, it's still going. I mean, it could be going forever. I don't know how many thousands of shots I just took.
Yeah, you've just devalued this camera for a couple of grand.
I don't think I have, because shutter actuations, it's not a mechanical shutter, is
That's true. That's true. There's nothing mechanical that is moving there.
it? Yeah.
And the sound is actually a sound like you would have it on your phone, because you can turn it off and you would press the button and you won't hear anything.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing it gives you when you're shooting the burst, if you, let's say, looking through the viewfinder, you're looking at the back of the camera, the first shot it takes, the camera kind of blinks, so it goes to black screen and back. It just indicates you that it's taking pictures, but actually it's blackout free. It's just there so you know actually the camera's starting to take the shots.
Exactly. I took 200 shots then in the space of a few seconds.
Wow.
The buffer limit is 1,000 in RAW, but that does depend on your card. So what have we popped in here? We just got, I forgot there's a lock on the door.
It's Alexa, one of the old ones.
Okay, so our card is a Sony.
Oh, it's Sony XQD then.
Sony XQD, and write speed is 400 meg per second. So it might not be able to handle 1,000 shots before the buffer fills up, but it did 200 shots there without any complaints. So that was pretty good. Just to show you that lock on the side, because it's quite interesting. You have to pull it up and slide at the same time. This is so that you don't accidentally open it when you're grabbing the camera. Yeah. But I do find that quite interesting.
Yeah, I do it all the time with my Z6. You've noticed that.
Yeah.
It just, I don't know why, but it happens all the time.
Yeah, absolutely. Woody, thank you very much for all your emails yesterday and your constant keeping us in the loop. That was
lots of links.
Really, really very, very helpful. RAW, you can choose lossless compressed. You can choose
the same as an old
uncompressed.
Nikon cameras. Yeah.
All of those. Now Jeff and Woody both asked if we could show the menu, so we will do that. I'm going to do that.
You're going to zoom in?
Yeah, so I'm going to switch over to, sorry, I have to multitask here a little bit. Camera record. Have you got the menu on?
Yep, here we go.
Okay, so here is our menu. So now, let me just see. Woody wanted to know the scope of options for custom settings to function buttons.
Okay, so we're going to go to custom settings. Okay, let's see.
Pencil icon.
Where is it? Oh, they moved it. Okay, no, you see normally on top they have a playback button with a triangle. So that's gone now somewhere. Oh, it's number 4 in line. Okay.
I see.
So we're going to go to custom settings menu. Let's go to controls.
Did they do that just to confuse us?
Exactly.
Okay, so then we have custom
control shooting. Let's have a look.
So for function 1,
yes,
if you go into function 1, so we've obviously got a few options between pressing the button and pressing and adding command dials. So accessing the shooting menu banks, which is what it is. What Woody was after was if you could set it to AF area mode on the
Here we go.
custom. So yes, you can, Woody. There you go. And
there's several options actually: AF area mode and AF area mode plus AF on,
which is what he was asking. The other question was whether or not it had recall shooting functions of the D5 and D6, which is a very, very, very handy little feature that a lot of people don't know about. So let's see if it's in there as an option. I don't see it. Recall shooting functions.
Is then custom controls?
No, same place. Yeah, custom control shooting function 1. See if it's down there. It's something that no, it doesn't look like it's there. Something that Rishi and Rob both brought to my attention.
Here we go.
Oh, there it is.
Here we go.
Excellent. It's way down the bottom. So yep, it has both of those, which I would consider to be kind of pro, quote unquote, features. I'm just going to switch back to our faces for a minute so that and give people a break from the menu. Now, Steve says, does it have focus peaking? Yes, absolutely. And just like the Z6, Z7, Z6 II, Z7 II, all the Zs, you can use it through the viewfinder as well. The viewfinder is a little bit different. It's a little bit more, I would say, responsive in some ways.
viewfinder, you basically got real time.
Yeah.
So, and it's blackout free as well.
Yeah,
which is quite
exactly.
nice.
So when you're looking through the viewfinder, and this is, unfortunately, I can't show you this through the viewfinder, but if I'm looking through the viewfinder, I haven't got a single blackout there. It just shoots the whole time. So that's really nice. That was one thing that the teaser showed, that they were really, really kind of promoting. It was obviously a big deal. That was teaser number 4 right before the launch, wasn't
Let's
it?
have a look. Let's try to.
Well, you can
see
show
if
it
we
on.
can show it.
You can show it on. You can show it on the screen.
There you go. 1, 2, 3.
There, oh yeah, you can see
I'm
that.
taking pictures now.
Yeah.
There's no blackout.
Yeah. Yeah. So proof. So that hopefully answers that question for you. So I just can't anymore say how strong is the optical low pass filter. There isn't one. That's just to answer that, because you might have missed that at the beginning. It was one of the first things we said. It doesn't have a low pass filter. In terms of landscape and macro, it is a stacked 45.7 megapixel sensor. So I would assume that it will perform in a similar capacity to any other 45 megapixel. I mean, you know, we've got the Z7, Z7 II, D850. Those are all 45 megapixel cameras. Obviously, it's not the same sensor, so it won't perform exactly the same, but I would hope that it will perform in similar ways. We are going to try and test that out this weekend, aren't we? We've got some stuff planned to see if we can, although it's a pre-production model, so it probably won't be final images, and we probably won't be able to share the images, but just for our own kind of knowledge, if you like.
And it shows 100% rain over Saturday and Sunday, so we might test some weather sealings of Z9 as well.
And then send it back with a soggy camera. Here
and
you go.
ourselves as well, how weather sealed we are.
Yeah, exactly. Please do give us a like if you haven't already. I will say we are so close to 10,000 subscribers. We're like within spitting distance of it. So if you're not a subscriber, we would massively appreciate it if you would subscribe. Just pop your little click subscribe, and then if you want to know when we go live, which is every Friday at 2:15, or when we upload a video, it's the bell icon. Would be amazing. Woody's asked us to check the options in recall shooting. We'll do that in a minute. I'm going to just address another point here. So Nick Can said Delkin Black will be hard to get now after Rishi mentioned it. So let me just talk about Delkin Black, which is a brand of CF Express cards. Those have a write speed of 1,560 megabytes per second, so 1,500 or 40. But anyway, it's about 1,500 megabytes per second. At the moment, those are the fastest CF Express cards in terms of write speed on the market. Just shy of that is the Lexar Gold. Those are 1,000 meg per second write speed and 1750 read speed. And then after that actually come the Sony G series, which are 800. So, oh no, sorry, I beg your pardon, SanDisk, CF Express, which is 800 meg per second. So just do with that information what you will. I mean, Rishi's obviously saying if you want the fastest that you can possibly get your hands on, then it's the Delkin Black. But to be honest, the Lexars will do great. And as I said, we've just shot with the 400 meg per second write speed Sony's.
400 megabyte per second card, which is considered to be very slow nowadays.
Yeah, and it's performed great. I mean, we could go crazy and just see it, but we'd be sitting here listening to it for probably a good minute and a half.
It's a good sound.
Thank you very much, Michael, for your contribution to the coffee fund.
Thank
Something's come up, got to go. We'll watch tonight. Here's a tenner. Have a great coffee. See you later, Captain Becky and Private Con. So there you go. Okay, so someone asked what the animal or bird AF is like in comparison to Canon and Sony. We don't know because we don't use those cameras. So unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to tell you. Hopefully better. I do hope better.
I think wait and see, because a lot of people will test them. So, and I don't know if we actually will get to the, wildlife, on Sunday, maybe we'll get some shots. But
yeah. If it doesn't get rain, if they don't get rained off, the wildlife.
Well, that's the thing, and we only have 700 with us as well, so that's another problem.
Yeah.
Do we have teleconverter?
Yes.
Okay, so we can try teleconverter with it as well.
Yeah, it's fair. The 1.4 is great.
Okay, that's good. Let's try it out then.
Testify to that. So Aaron said, when do you think some of the Z9 features will trickle down to 6 or 7? I don't know if they'll trickle down to the first gen cameras, 6 or 7, to be honest.
I doubt it.
I don't think so, because just capabilities of those cameras might be a bit limited.
I think the processors are slow for this type of things. So I think they'll try to stretch the process of Z7 and Z6 Mark II cameras.
Yeah, the Mark IIs, yes.
Yeah, because those have dual process. So let's see if they can speed it up, but it's still not going to be on the same levels. But I think the first generation of cameras are highly doubt it. Yeah.
Yeah. Vince, thank you very much for that. Vince said Nikon EU said it's the same dynamic range as the Z7 II, which is good data to have, hoping that proves out in reality, because you imagine all that speed and that AF capability with a Z7 II sensor, that resolution.
Exactly.
I mean, okay, so a lot of people are saying it's weight, size, etc. Yeah, I would not be able to carry this comfortably around. This wouldn't be my main.
It was a 1.3 kilos, right?
Yeah. And I feel that within a few seconds. Unfortunately, I mean, after wielding a sword like this all day, it's like, I don't wield heavy cameras. What are you doing?
So I'm just trying to hold them. By the way, there's a shutter there which is not activated right now, so the sensor is exposed.
Yes.
But just kind of weighing both cameras.
Put that on in a minute.
About the same. I think, about the same. I don't know if one is heavier than another one.
I think the D6 is like 50 grams heavier, if I remember the paperwork.
Yeah, but
it's like 1380 and 1340 or something.
I would say if you got D5, D6, that's going to feel very similar to that.
Yeah, exactly. Tim said, check out Nigel Danson's latest video for Animal IAF. It tracks his dog running through ferns and doesn't miss at all. So we should do that with Tilly.
Yeah, definitely.
For those of you that don't regularly watch our channel, Konstantin has a lovely Hungarian Vizsla who likes to be involved in the videos as much as possible. Yes. So we will try and get her and test out that Animal IAF. Yeah,
she really wants to tell us about Z9 specs, but we don't speak dog, so therefore, we can't understand.
In contrast, my cats don't move very fast, so completely useless for a test. I mean, you could get them if you were using manual focus. I shoot quite happily with my Pentax 6.7. No problem. They don't go anywhere.
That's true.
Thank you very much, Brian, for your contribution to the coffee fund for a wee tot, as he said. Yes, thank you very much. All the rum today. Now, Phil said, they're saying the X-Speed 7 is 10 times faster than X-Speed 6. So while some improvements may come, you need moderate expectations.
I wonder if they could run some benchmark like they do on MacBooks and all that, just to say how fast the processors are. So, but it's very difficult to say. Just showing the shutter, the protector shutter, what they call it. So you can activate it via the menu of the camera. So by default, I think it's switched off, but you can activate it. And then it's basically as soon as you switch off the camera, the shutter will close.
Yeah. To answer the question of Dan, the weight of the D850 is 915 grams. So that's the body on its own, which is what we've kind of compared them with. So it's about 400 odd grams lighter than a Z9. So Victor said, interesting, the EVF feed seems almost close to an OVF. I mean, I kind of feel like it's definitely closer to reality. I don't have any problems using the Z6. I know a few people who because that's the camera that I have, I know quite a few people who when they very first bought a Z6 or a Z7, when the cameras first came out, they said, oh no, can't stand that. It's like looking at a little TV screen.
But a lot of people who use other brands, they always say that Nikon viewfinders and that system are very nice.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, we've both experienced other brands, EVFs. I didn't get on with. I had a small Fuji X-T10 and then an X-T20, and I didn't feel like I could really comfortably use the EVF. The Z9 was a big improvement. Again, I also had the Nikon One system. I had a V1, and the EVF in that was horrendous. I mean, it was not comfortable to use. So with the Z6, I don't really notice it's an EVF. With this one, I also don't seem to notice it's an EVF.
Yeah, it's also because it's pretty much real time. That's why it really feels almost like OVF.
Yeah.
And also, it's quite large. It's definitely larger than Z6 and Z7 cameras.
Yes. Rakesh asked if we got a hold of a 24-120 f4. No. We haven't yet, nor a 100-400. We haven't been able to put our hands on those. I'm kind of hoping that we will be able to get one in the next couple of weeks if they've got a demo. I don't know if Richie's got one actually, but might ask him.
I have a question for the viewers. How many of you would consider purchasing 24-120 lens? The reason we're asking is because obviously it was an odd launch. What we heard that actually was supposed to release around the same time as 18-140, but for some reason got delayed. Yeah. So, and it's kind of got bundled up together with this. But 100-400, we expected. 24-120, it's supposed to be, I guess, 24-105. was an interesting one. So we just want to know, obviously, for people who use 24-70 f4, for people who bought 24-70 2.8 as well, and 24-200, would you consider 24-120?
Yeah, I personally think it's a bit of a sweet spot. If it's smaller and lighter than the 24-200, I would look at that as an option.
Yes, from my point of view, it's price-wise, it's, you add another, £700, you get 2.8 versions.
Yeah.
So I would personally...
£700 is quite a lot of money.
Well, it is a lot of money, but then at the same time, if you're paying £1,100, I would personally probably say, maybe save for a couple more months and get to 24-70 2.8. But that's for professional work. For travel, I can see the potential of 24-120.
Yes.
Yes, and I'm sure it's better than the F mount,
You don't like the F mount.
I like the focal length, though,
I do too. Celian Toto says, Con, if your pup is hungry, Vizsla, you need to feed it more.
She's not hungry. No,
because I said it's Hungarian.
Oh,
anyway.
I see.
But,
knocked
knocked my cap off.
She's half Welsh, by the way.
Is she?
Well, she's fully Welsh. No, half Welsh, because the father is Hungarian, the mother is Welsh.
Ah, that's lovely.
And we picked her up from Birmingham.
Oh, that's really random.
Well, no, actually, she is from Wrexham, but we had to drive to Birmingham, so she met us halfway. So the breeder, yeah.
Does she speak Welsh?
Tilly? She speaks dog.
She speaks dog language. Doesn't speak English either. Right. Tadius asked if the FTZ was included. It is not included. Now, I've had some information today that Nikon won't be bundling the FTZ 2 or 1 in with the Z9. They will actually be phasing out the FTZ Mark 1 and then replacing it ultimately with the FTZ 2. But I think the plan is not to have kits in that form, to be honest. As dealers, having 7 varieties of kit with and without FTZ is a real headache.
Will be there any discount purchase together?
There will be a discount for those of you who've already ordered a Z9 with an FTZ. Once we know what the discount is, we will just apply that retrospectively for you and credit your accounts with that. But I don't have that data yet, so once I know, we will do that.
So no official bundle, but there will be some saving there.
There will, yeah, exactly. I just have to work out how you redeem it and stuff, which is a little bit more complicated. That's what I do when I'm not dressed up as a pirate on YouTube. It's like logistics.
I've never seen you not dressed up as a pirate.
No, I know. It's my normal outfit. So battery, I'm just going to take this one out here. So what we got with it is an ENEL 18D. It's black, as you can see, instead of the old grey colour. Now, I've been told that the obviously the battery charger is the MH33 for this one, right?
Yeah, it's a single battery charger.
And we have been told that the older batteries will work. I was just going to take this off. Did this have battery power in it? Does this have charge?
Yes,
of
good. Course.
So this is an 18C. I'm just going to pop it in there.
That's not a dummy camera.
No, I know. I just wasn't sure if it was charged.
I came prepared.
It's alive.
It's alive.
So the 18C works fine. The Bs will work fine. The As will work fine. Essentially, your ENEL 18s will work no problem. You won't be able to hot charge them, which means you won't be able to charge them in the camera. And you won't be able to use the camera while charging either. Don't do that.
So very similar when Z7 came out, and then they say you can't charge the A's and the regular ones, but you can charge the B's and the C's or something like this, yeah?
Yeah, exactly. There's a few people saying yes on the 24-120, like Brian said yes on the 24-120, Gary said yes. And then a couple of people said pass on the 24-120. I have the 24-200, Michael says, so I'd not be buying a 24-120. It's kind of redundant. I have to agree. I think it's odd timing, and I think that the 24-120 is there for people buying into the system from now forward, because they might go, I don't want a 24-70 2.8 because it's too expensive, too heavy. But I don't want a 24-200 because it's not an S-line lens.
That's true.
I want the kind of in between.
You want something better than 24-70, but you don't want a 24-200. 24-70 f4, I mean.
Yeah.
I feel like it was just overshadowed by Z9 and 100-400 lenses. So
wouldn't it have been great if they had announced it with the 18-140 a couple of weeks ago?
Well, that's what we heard.
Yeah.
That's the indication we were given, that it was just kind of delayed.
Yeah.
And I think it just needed its own kind of place to shine. But I think it opens the potential for it being bundled with other cameras. Who knows, maybe something like Z7 Mark III with 24-120 kit or something like this. So that's because we've seen it in the past. The F-mount version was bundled with cameras like D750 and D850 cameras.
Yeah.
So who knows, maybe potentially that's going to happen in the future. So it's something like if you want a professional bundle, instead of 24-70 f4, you could get something like this.
Yeah, exactly. I think it's a good alternative to have. I see a lot of excitement and love for the 100 to 400. That is a very exciting lens. We're delighted to have a lens that actually works beyond 200mm natively and also works with a teleconverter. A couple of people asked about the 400 prime. The 400 2.8 prime, they've announced the development of it, haven't they? They've confirmed that they're developing it. In terms of when we'll physically see that, it's anyone's guess. I reckon mid next year, maybe?
Yeah, I think between now and summer next year.
Yeah. It would be lovely if they would announce a couple, like for example, a few people have asked about the 200 to 600, which is on the roadmap. Do we have the updated roadmap?
Yes, we do. Just bear with me for a moment. I'm going to...
So many comments here. Thank you, everyone, for joining us this afternoon. Please do give us a like if you haven't already. I can see a few of you haven't liked us yet. That's very sad.
Or subscribe as well. That 10K subscribers is a big one.
We would really love to hit 10K. I mean, I was hoping we'd do it before the end of October, and that was a stiff target. But if you haven't subscribed and you'd be happy to, please do.
It was ambitious, but we are so close. We are literally maybe a couple of days out. So.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so yeah, we have 200 to 600 not released yet, 400, 800 mil, that's a new on the roadmap.
Yes.
600 mil as well, so that's a good one. Then we have a couple of DX lenses. So we got 26mm non-DX pancake.
What?
That's a weird one, isn't it? So we got 28 pancake, basically. It was not pancake, but kind of pancake. Like, and then we have 26mm, which is actual pancake. Then we also have 12 to 28. I can't find it on this one, but yeah, it was something like 12 to 28 DX lens.
Which is good. Oh, yeah, it's there. I see it. It's a bit further along.
Here we go.
Which is great because there is no wide-angle lens for that system yet, that DX system. There's also a prime 24mm DX.
Prime 24. I personally need 18mm DX because that's equivalent of 27, 28mm.
No, so this is like a 35.
Yeah, this is a 35. So I really hope they're going to release 18. Again, make it something like 250.
Yeah.
You know, and it's going to be incredible.
I like the fact that the 85 is still blacked out and doesn't actually say what aperture it is. We're guessing it's 1.2, right?
Yeah, but how much is going to be that?
A small fortune.
Yeah, that's the thing. If 85 1.2 is $3,000, then it becomes expensive. Then you definitely need 85 1.4 as well.
Yes.
You know, so, but if they make it like 1,500, I'll take it.
Of course you will. I'm getting a few more questions on, can you check if the display button is programmable to something else? So let's try that. I don't know if it will let me.
I don't think it
Controls. Customize controls, shooting. Okay, I'm going to show you what you can actually customize here because this seems to be
that's a good idea.
The thing. So we've got function 1, function 2, function 3. Then with that, this is the vertical function button. Function 4, which is located over there, you can see where it's highlighted where the sort of what used to be the playback button was on the other Zs. AF on, your back toggle, your OK button can be customizable, that's normal. The little quality button can be changed. The microphone button can be changed. The vertical toggle can be changed. That's the vertical AF on. Then we've got the movie button, the front and back dials. So that's customized command dials, which used to be its own menu option, but is now in here instead. Then we've got our lens function. So basically, no, you can't change the display function.
Yeah, I don't think you would be able to because it's responsible for what you see on your viewfinder.
It's quite important.
You know, on your screen.
So, for example, with your display button, you can get your. In fact, I'm going to show you that as well while I'm here. Not desktop, camera. There we go. So, just to show you, sorry for that sort of blinding light there. Toggling through the display, you've got sort of blank screen. Look, this is behind the scenes.
Yeah, that's the first one, isn't it? They didn't have it in all the cameras.
That's right. We've got our sort of, in fact, I call this like the D5000 display because that's what it reminds me of. This is with all the info around the outside as you see it. And then we've got one which has basic info and focus point would be. And then you've got your virtual sort of horizon there. Look at that. Which works in multiple ways. It's much more discreet than the old vertical horizon. I prefer that, actually.
That's true.
Because the old one used to be like an orb in the middle of the screen, and you're trying to compose with this orb in the middle of the screen.
But you also notice we have it set to autofocus. So autofocus single, but full area.
Yeah.
And it now has people and animals at the same time.
Yeah.
So before you had to select either people or animals, now it's combined.
Yeah, it's very, very annoying. So it's nice that they've done that. A couple of people are saying yes on the 24-120. It will be useful as an option instead of the 24-70.
Good. I'm very excited that people are actually interested in this lens. So that's good.
I am too. Yeah, Jeff says 24-120 would be my ideal mid-range versatile lens. Okay, Matthew asks compatibility with the SB5000. No compatibility issues.
No, it's the most current flash. So yeah, you should get like 150% compatibility.
Yeah, exactly. And you'll get your wireless. I haven't actually looked at the features, but listen, if the D6 does advanced wireless lighting system,
they all will.
Yeah, everything that's pro body moving forward should be able to do
speaking
that.
of which, I think we got Matt Adams watching us. Matt, we've got your the WR11. So guys downstairs, they will be updating it, I think today, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, that's being looked at.
You can't get more personal than that, can you? Okay, so what about the new 3x3 grid? Will this be available for the Z6?
What, you mean like grid screen? Is that what it is?
I assume so. I mean, they all have grid screen. I didn't know that there was a new one, actually. I missed that somehow. So David might be able to clarify that. No, you have to go into the setup
and activate
menu.
it, yeah, okay.
Yeah, actually,
like you would do it with all cameras.
Custom settings, menu, shooting, display. You keep missing it.
I know.
It's just like it's out of your sort of circuitry of doing it each time. Shooting, display.
It's all slightly different. It looks the same, but the order of things has changed, isn't it?
They just do it to keep us on our toes. Ab said, remark on the 24-120, the lens is not guaranteed to be dust resistant and drip proof in all situations under all conditions. That is actually a fairly standard statement for most lenses.
Aren't they all?
There is nothing that is 100% dust and drip proof, but it's interesting that there's a particular comment on there. I'm sure that a few people will probably have seen it.
Have you noticed that none of the manufacturers call them waterproof?
Yeah.
And there's a reason, there's a legal reason for that. And that's why they say weatherproof, but if something happens to your camera, we are not liable. That's literally what it says in the warranty.
Yeah.
So all cameras are like this. And obviously they improve those things all the time. But I don't know how to test for that, really. Like, unless you dunk your camera in a bucket of water, I don't know what to do. You know, what else to do?
Don't do that. Now, Bala said, no mechanical shutter brings questions about can the Z9 shoot with multiple flashes and also high-speed sync?
Wow, there's a 32,000 over second shutter speed. So I think that should answer the high-speed sync. I personally want to see how it will work with this B5000. It's a matter of testing it, but a lot of studio lights now allow for HSS, so I hope that that will work together with it. And I personally think that Nikon will release an updated flash that will support that.
It would be great, actually, to see a new flash, because the SB5000 has been out since the D5 and D500, actually.
Yes, and there's no other flash that supports wireless triggering, which is a shame, and I think they need to address that.
Yeah, exactly. Sharif asked if the new FTZ2 will read lens data for D lenses but only be manual focus. Yes, that is the case. The FTZ2 just strips off that tripod foot at the bottom, which, to be honest, when I was using it on a tripod, would be very annoying because you'd have to take the plate off the camera and put it on the FTZ. It was like just irritating.
I thought it was a good idea. I think when they designed it.
It was for certain systems because it encourages you to put the tripod in the right place.
But the problem with that is, if you got let's say some sort of tripod plates that are bigger than standard tripod plates, like let's say I think Manfrotto one would have a problem with it. So, there's quite a few issues there. So I wish they would have it some sort of like you can just snap on and snap off like you could do with the tripod foot on 7200 lens.
Yeah.
You know, if you need that bump, you'll get it there. But I've noticed that generally, if you use a tripod, you would use a longer lens, which will have its own tripod foot anyway. So even if you have FTZ mounted up, that's not what you're going to mount it on. You're going to mount it on the tripod foot of the lens.
Yeah, and I think they probably took that into account and maybe had a few complaints about it all. Sam Becker said, how would you compare the autofocus against the D500 and D850? That's a good question. D850, I've not used the D500 for sports and wildlife, to be honest, for personal work. The D850 I've used in all kinds of scenarios. I mean, birds in flight, you name it. And I've always been quite happy with the way that it performs, but felt like it could be better, but that's not what that camera's for, if you see what I mean. Like I was happy.
Oh, J850?
Yeah.
Oh, it's a perfectly capable sports and wildlife camera.
Yes, but you see, I also find that to be the case for most things with my Z6. With the AF area modes that I use, you need to learn how to use your camera so that you don't complain about it. But in comparison, you can't say anything. But in comparison, the Z9, can I talk, please, miss? No, I know that you struggle with it, that you don't trust it to perform.
Yeah, I had to get a counselor, me and my wife talking about Z6 autofocus performance. No. If you talk about the cameras, they're all capable of taking great shots.
Yeah.
When I said Z9 is the first Z camera that I consider to be a replacement of D6 or J850, I mean in terms of performance in all situations.
Yes.
You can take a good shot with Nikon F. It could be a sport shot. If you nail that, hyperfocal distance, focus manually, you will get that shot. That's not what I mean. What I mean is, it's literally the performance out of the box. And in this case, the real-time autofocus performance, that is compared to other desk cameras on another level.
Yeah.
That's what I think it is. But also coming back to J850, I this is better. But I think J850, because it was very close in terms of D6 performance, autofocus performance, it was still reasonably capable. I think, for me personally, I think D500 and J850 were on par, but a lot of people say that D500 was slightly better. For me, they were about the same.
Yeah, fair enough. I think that as I say, we're going to spend the next day or two actually testing it in anger and putting it through its paces. And yes, we will be able to give you a more comprehensive answer, I'd say, on that in the next week or so. But from the little bit that I've seen, just in terms of the accuracy of focus, this seems to just surpass anything else that I've yet to see.
I absolutely agree. I think even compared to J850 and D6, this is better. This is just, another level.
Yeah, exactly. NC said, is the time from off or standby to on faster than the original Z cameras? Looks like it. It's ready.
Yeah, so but
I mean?
it's
there's no lag. But the thing that's moving is that shutter.
Oh yes, okay. So let's just turn off the shutter actually, because like at the moment, I think let's say it's probably around J850, speed. But I wonder if you can go faster than that.
Yeah.
So
Gray said, "Ahoy there, you two." Ahoy, ahoy, Gray. Someone was asking me what the link between Halloween. Oh, Jackie said, "Did I miss the link between Halloween and pirates?" It's just a costume. That's all. Last year I came as a witch. That was our homage to the F6 stream a whole year ago.
That's true. It was a pumpkin. It was a Halloween stream, right?
It was, because it was on Halloween, and I was dressed as a witch. And this year I thought I would dig out a different costume. That was it, really. David said Rishi has it tracking birds, fish, zoo animals without any problems. Joe McNally had it tracking a car at 140 miles per hour. We are also expecting, I think Moose Peterson might have had it for a bit, so I'm going to be hopefully speaking to him soon.
And our pre-production camera performance in office was fantastic as well. We can confirm that.
Yeah.
Some people take it to the fields. We used in office.
Yeah, exactly.
It's our office diver. No, we were really hoping to take it outside, but we previewed it last week. Literally, they gave us an hour right here just to test it real quick, so we could only check the face and eye tracking and things like this. But we are hoping to take it out this weekend and actually put it through some paces.
Yeah, exactly. Phil said, I saw someone record the startup time as 0.4 seconds, which is improved on other Z cameras, which had 1 second. Yeah, it definitely feels like a fraction of a second rather than a full second. In terms of availability and dates, DoubleClick was asking, they say winter 2021.
Yeah.
And that doesn't really mean much, does it?
Yeah, we mentioned it last time in the stream, and we say it again. If you want the camera as soon as possible, unfortunately, the way it works is you have to place an order for it, which means to pay upfront. And that's the way it works with pretty much all equipment from all brands at this moment. So
not just cameras.
So we're not particularly happy about this, and I don't think it's consumer friendly. But basically, that's what we're told, because unfortunately, they're just looking at how many orders that were made, and they're allocating the stock according to how many orders you got. So free stock is probably, police is coming to get me because I'm telling all this.
Oh, no. Sorry. But some drama happening on chat.
I've got my passport. They can't get me. So basically, we're not expecting to have a free stock for quite some time. And unfortunately, a lot of people will have to wait for this.
Yeah, exactly. So we are saying to everyone, I mean, a lot of people said, oh, where am I on the list? You know what? We haven't even had a chance to breathe since yesterday at 1:00. So I don't know where people are on the list at this point. And then, to be honest, I don't know. We'll sort that out and we'll be able to see where people are on the list because there's lots of different factors.
Please stay patient because we care about mental health of our staff.
Absolutely. And it is very stressful being called several times a day, a week, a month about stock. We don't have secret information, so we will pass along updates to you as we have them.
And it's not a joke. We really care, and it really stresses people out. So please try to understand on our end as well.
Yes. Be very much appreciated. Michael said, sorry, I would have bought you a coffee, but I'm saving up for a Z9. That's fair enough, Michael. I understand. I mean, let's just we've got like 10 minutes left. I'd just like to talk about the fact that the price is way less than we expected it was going to be.
Yeah, that's the thing. Even, we heard different rumors because throughout these developments, we always said it's going to be G6 price, which was about 6.3. Then the rumor came in, it wasn't published anywhere, but the rumor came in that it will be actually surprisingly cheaper. Mm-hmm. And we got excited. And that was probably around September or something.
Yeah.
And then in October, we were told that actually Z9 has been delayed and the price is going up. So we thought, well, makes sense. It's probably going to be around G6 price again.
Yeah.
So when the actually official price came out, we were quite surprised because it was back to what was indicated originally.
Yeah, exactly. So that's very exciting for us. Apparently in the US, it says 15 to 31st of December. In Paul says several sources are stating 15th of December as the shipping date. I mean, that would be great if so. I would love to get enough in before Christmas. We've put massive orders in with Nikon. We just have to hope and pray that they'll send us some.
That's true. But again, please understand, many people may not get it before Christmas. It's just the time frame is too close.
It's And also the significance of Christmas is nothing but it's the end of the year.
That's true. And if the shipping starts on 15th of December, that means it's basically 1 week or 10 days before Christmas. So a lot of people probably will, depending how many cameras they'll get into the country, of course, but knowing the whole semiconductor and the supply shortage, a lot of people say that that supply shortage is only Nikon narrative. It is not. Have you tried to order Sony A1? Have you tried to order GFX 100S when it came out? I'm talking about the current releases, or R3. I don't know if it's even out yet, but a lot of people had to wait for a month. Mm-hmm. So it's no different with Nikon, unfortunately. And again, obviously, as photographers, we all wish everyone gets the cameras on day one because obviously if they can make so many, then everyone is happy. Yeah,
exactly, which would be amazing. There's no harm in having them out there. It's just how to get them out there logistically is going to be a very interesting challenge, I must say. I was going to just read a comment and NC said, please don't stress Con and Becky. We need them for these vlogs.
That's the thing. We're not as stressed. We are, but the people on the fields who are picking up the phones, that's who we care about.
Our lovely staff.
We are the faces, but there's a whole team behind us.
Yes.
And it is stressful sometimes when people call in several times a week. And, it's the same conversation. And obviously we understand, your point of view, but please understand us as well. Unfortunately, we need to get the camera from Nikon. We talking to them basically on a daily basis with regards to stock. So in terms of this, we do ask where your camera is, where your lens is. That's no different. We work behind the scenes to get the equipment, but sometimes, unfortunately, it takes longer than usual.
Yeah, exactly. It does bring back 3D tracking, which is something that we didn't really have. As far as I remember in the Zeds, we don't have it quite the same. So let me just see if I can. So many modes, goodness gracious.
Yeah, you got 3D here. Yeah,
I'm just gonna actually show you that quickly because a few people were asking.
Oh, that's
I know
4D.
That's proper Inception. Sorry about that. So I'm pushing that little button on the side. So here's AFC 3D,
and it's also face.
Yeah,
and about people and animal.
Yeah, exactly. And then we've got our sort of wide. Generic auto area.
Full area,
Yeah, exactly. Then you've got your little single point there, if you can see that. We've got this is single, but it's like dynamic?
It looks like single dynamic, yeah. So it looks like a 9 points or something like this.
Oh, medium.
You know what I mean? It could be similar to D9, D21, D51, or new cameras like D51, D155.
Yeah.
So basically, you increase you're making the dynamic area a bit larger.
Yeah, exactly. And then we've got a large area, and then we've got our sort of wide. Well, we've got our wide, small,
and wide, large,
areas, and there's a 3D tracking. So there's loads of options to choose from, depending. And I think it's personal preference more than anything else.
That's true. There was a very early question on when someone say, "Does camera track during AFS?" It does. If you set it to autofocus, let's say face and people recognition or whatever recognition you want to do, it will show you the box on the person. But if you want to log the focus, like AFS mode normally work, you just press the button, it locks the focus at that point, and it doesn't track anymore. So obviously, if you're taking let's say shots at high frame rate, then you want to set it to continuous, and then it will refocus between each shot. But as soon as you obviously taking the shot on AFS and you release the shutter release button, it will continue to have the focusing point on the person's eye.
Yeah. Okay. Are there any other questions? I've got to find the thing for last week's competition.
Coley is asking, where's my Z times 2 teleconverter? I'm just going to cry now on the stream. Well, Colin, if it's on order, we are working on it. So I think a lot of things are on back order at the moment.
Yeah, there are for sure. And you are not alone. You are not alone. What was the word that we were using for last week's competition?
Broccoli.
Was it?
Yes.
Thanks for that. That was great. Let me just find it if I can, because I'm going to do our competition. Copy. Oh, I'm going to show it. Yeah, in a second. Someone asked if we'd eaten all the cake. No, we haven't. I'm going to show you something that Nikon sent us yesterday, which is very, very exciting. Okay. You ready?
Yes.
I haven't unpacked it. We haven't eaten it yet. This giant box here.
It's not a Z9.
It's not a Z9. Let me just flip
Well,
it.
it is in a sensor a Z9 because it is called Z9.
Okay. So it's from the cake store. And it's all right. I've just got just about enough space to put things.
Okay. Where's the charger and the strap?
Yes. This is a live unboxing of not a Z9. Let me put that in there. Thank you. All right. Can you hold that up, Con, without dropping it?
Ta-da!
That was our launch day cake. So we have to thank Nikon for that. There you go. Got a bit of why is that in the frame?
I think Gray moved the camera.
Oh.
No, it's the camera that's been moved.
The camera. Could you?
Great. Could.
Yeah, move the. There we go. Okay, good.
That's it.
That's perfect. Yeah, so that was a little gift from Nikon. So thank you very, very much for that. Now, Nick Can said, with the Z9 being cheaper than the D6 camera, does it mean the Pro level Z mount lenses will be cheaper now to their F mount lenses? So far, no.
No, I think it's a very clever and aggressive pricing policy. I think it's to do with undercutting the competition and making the competition think what they need to do. Because a lot of people are asking us, well, what's the price of R1 is going to be? You know, because, or even R3.
Yeah.
So that's the question, or A1. I think personally that Sony will lower the price on its A1. That's my prediction. Because, well, in my opinion, we will see the test, of course, but so far Z9 looks like a better camera. Of course, we are biased because we use Nikon. Exactly.
Now, I just realized in terms of the spelling of broccoli, did I tell people to spell it incorrectly?
Is there like two different...
Two C's and one L. Excuse me. I just want to make sure that...
How else would you spell it?
I don't know.
Is it double L?
One L. No, it's not. It's not. I'm just being silly. Okay, let me see if... I don't know if I actually set this up to do this, so give me 1 second. Sorry.
Now camera's off level, but there's not much we can do
there
right now.
So I know, sorry.
Stick to that.
I just mixed it up. So for last week's competition, the keyword was broccoli. The winner... 46 comments. The winner was Terry.
Oh, congratulations,
Yay!
Terry.
Congratulations, Terry. So you will, so my prize for this week is This beautiful book. I've actually just reviewed this book in the upcoming Nikon Owner magazine. This is Wild World by Richard Barrett. It's a fabulous wildlife photography book. I thought it's a nice coffee table book, but it's also got lots of very interesting sort of tips and anecdotes in there.
All the shots are taken with Z9.
No, they're not. But they're all taken with Nikon.
Nikon F.
So anyway, fantastic. Well done, Terry. We will get this sent off to you. Just drop us an email to media@grayswestminster.co.uk so that I have your correct address and I'll get that sent off to you. Very well done for that. Apart from that, we've actually run out of time.
That's right. And no one got my Ken Rockwell impression.
No, someone did.
Someone did? Yeah. Well done to you.
Thank you very, very much for joining us this week. It's been absolutely fantastic to have you with us. We have got so much in store for the next couple of weeks.
I would say if you still have more questions on Z9, if they come up, just kind of send us an email, because we're going to try to review it as much as we can. So we're going to have it for a short time all weekend. Yeah. It goes back, then hopefully we'll get another one in at some point. But we're going to test it. And if you have any questions you want to ask us or to test something, do email us.
Yeah, absolutely. And as I say, in a couple of weeks' time, we are going to have some Nikon people with us on the 9th. And this is the date for your diaries. On the 9th of November, we have Rob McNeese coming from MPS with a Z9 for you to put your hands on. We're going to have quite regulated slots for the simple reason that A, social distancing, and B, so many people we know that want to book in those slots. So that will be out in a newsletter later on today. If you're not on our subscriber email newsletter list, there is a link in the description box below so that you can add your name to that. So if you'd like to come and be part of the MPS stream, then, MPS day, then you can come and do that. We are the first shop that are going to have someone from MPS come in. Yeah, so that's good. And then we will have someone else from Nikon in a couple of weeks' time to do a live stream with us and talk all about the Z9. So other questions can also be picked up there. Thank you, David, for your contribution to the Coffee Fund. Thank you, everyone, for contributing to the Coffee Fund this week. Have a wonderful Halloween and a wonderful weekend, and we'll see you next week.
We'll see you next week.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you. Bye.